Hey everyone, God bless you. Thanks so much for tuning in. I have a reflection for you today entitled Diversity is Our Strength? Question mark. We also might want to have an alternative title. Rolling back satanic culture. Rolling back satanic culture. That is a very important question to my mind. Can a culture put the brakes on yielding itself to evil things and actually roll back bad decisions? I think the answer is yes, but unlikely. Yes, but unlikely apart from the intervention of God and the mercy of God and a, what shall we say, Ninevite experience. I raise this subject periodically in my reflections. I'm doing so today because it's June and there has been a change in what has been kind of normative American culture for over a decade, which is that June is the month that, whether you like it or not, the gay lobby is going to shove their pride down your cultural throats, whether you like it or not. It's not enough to be tolerated. It's not enough to be legalized. You must be celebrated. Your particular sexual orientations must be celebrated. This is the presupposition of the LGBT movement. And what do you know? This June, very shocking, very shocking. It's June 6th, I think, and I have had very little of the LGBT movement shoved down my throat. No big stickers on the market that you have to look at and bow to as you walk in. No signs on the door of the gym. No emails from all the companies and from all the agencies of America saying how happy they are. Not even Fox News and the other news agencies who have complied with this nonsense in the past are promoting this right now. Whether this is just a blip of sanity that will go away soon, or if it's expressive of a cultural reconsideration, I don't know. I do know that cultures change. I'm thinking very much right now about the 20th century because I'm giving a lecture later today to our church history class here on the subject of the 20th century and the rise of Bolshevism and what it meant for Christians. The greatest attack on Christians, the greatest bloodletting in martyrdom in the history of the Christian faith took place at the hands of the godless and authoritarian communists. And one of the things that the communists did is they applied a very aggressive paradigm to cultural change. They sought to eradicate Christian expressions in culture, and they did so very zealously. One of the things they did is they changed the names of towns and villages and major cities. And they put new names in, like Leningrad and Stalingrad. I remember when I was younger and I spent 2 summers in Czechoslovakia, one summer before the communists fell and one summer after. And all of the names in that period of time, that 9 months when I wasn't there between 2 summers, all the names were changed. I had already memorized all the communist names on the metro, and when I got back, I had to learn the old Christian names that were being restored, thankfully. Unfortunately, I've noticed recently that the Russians have been making some very, very bad decisions to re-erect statues, several statues of Stalin and Lenin. And of course, Lenin is still there out in the open in Moscow. Really, please, brothers and sisters in Russia, bury him secretly and remove that monster from your public square. Remove him. For Christ's sake, he has no place there. You know, the secularists who have been trying to throttle American culture with its globalization, secular globalization plan for the world, but at the core in America and Western Europe, they've tried to do this too. Little more than 10 years ago, I guess it's more like 13 years ago now, they tried to do it here in my city. Our city was sued by the Americans United for the Separation of Church and State, and crazy organization. And they were trying to force us to take our cross down on top of our mountain. And I was interviewed by the CEO of that company. We did cross interviews, actually, because I was publicly opposing him and his organization, which I found and still find hideous. And I asked him in our interview, I said, look, you're going to have a really hard time secularizing this place with your false concept of what the U.S. Constitution demands. I said, because it's not just the cross on the top of the hill. Every street that you drive to get near the cross, you're going to be reading the names of saints. Matter of fact, California is permeated with cities and towns and counties and street names dedicated to great Christian heroes. San Francisco, San Diego. Oh, you're going, and then all the St. Lawrence Street. I mean, you have my town alone probably has 100 saints commemorated on the street names. What are you going to do? Tear them all down, rename them? How vain, how ridiculous. Well, renaming is something that the secularists love to do. And they succeeded under the Obama administration to get one of their heroes, who is no hero, a man named Harvey Milk. Under the Obama administration, the Navy named a ship after Harvey Milk, if you can imagine. If you know anything about Harvey Milk, you would recognize how ludicrous such an action was. Harvey Milk is touted as a hero by the LGBT movement because he was the first openly gay man elected to public office. Well, he served in the military. Before that, he was, what shall I say, discharged with lots of questions around his sexuality because he was openly gay. He was totally unimpressive as a person. He moved to San Francisco and lived a very open and immoral life, including in his mid-30s, having a lover who was a minor. There's that. He was also a very unsuccessful businessman. He was elected to the Board of Supervisors. Why? What had he accomplished? What had he done? Except to be openly gay, celebrating his sexuality. He served for 1 year on the Board of Supervisors when he was killed with the mayor of San Francisco by a fellow supervisor in a dispute that had nothing whatsoever to do about his sexual identity, which obviously served him to get him into office. He wasn't rewarded with an election because he was such an accomplished person. What a distinguishing career, huh? I think not. I remember once going into the beautiful, on the outside, Grace Episcopal Cathedral, this Norman building in San Francisco, and as an Orthodox going in and seeing an icon up front, and I thought how wonderful it was that they would actually have an Orthodox icon in their church. So I went directly to it and was deeply offended and aghast at their rudeness that they would take the icons of the Orthodox Church, our iconic form, and they had painted Harvey Milk, an openly immoral person, according to Christian standards, as a saint, and put him on the walls of their church. No, there's no respect from these people who have a completely different moral compass, or should I say immoral compass. Should we name ships after people like this? If so, then we should name one after the first open adulterer, the first pedophile, the first accomplished liar. Are these reasons to give a man public office, let alone to name one of our nation's ships a military commemoration? How ridiculous. I'm very delighted that our Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has announced that he is renaming this ship and removing Harvey Milk's name from it. It's about time that this open offense to all people of Christian backgrounds, which is the great majority of the United States, it's about time that this public slap in the face to Christians is rectified. And this activist attempt to shove their new morality down our throats is pushed back a little bit. This statement, diversity is our strength, forgive me, I think the United States is so tired of this. We are so tired of hearing this. We don't believe it. We know what it really means, and we don't believe it. Moral diversity, which is what it really means. Moral diversity is our weakness. Celebrating what all the world's major religions teach is immorality is not strength. It's folly of the highest order, and it's certain to lose God's blessing on the land. The decision to rename the Navy ship Harvey Milk is a good one. May it be blessed. God be with you. A blessed Lord's Day to all of you, brothers and sisters.
For November 17th, on which we commemorate Saint Gregory of Tours.
As we begin this new course in the St. John Chrysostom Catechetical School.
Now available on both Apple and Google Play stores.